Welcome to the BrothSyndi MyTeam show. I am your host, Jan Moses, bringing you this episode of the BS MyTeam show on Saturday morning, October 18th. But I am recording this with my partner in crime, Harry, on Friday, October 17th at about exactly 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Which means, the season has been live. The season being season 2. The picture, you can see it in the background right here. It's been live for, like 10 and a half hours or so? I'm not doing mental math at this hour of the night. But it's been live for long enough for us to have a pretty good feel for what we have available to us on the first day of the season. And we've obviously just concluded season 1. And I know we did upload a podcast, a shortened podcast, with us talking about basically our general thoughts on season 1 and what had happened after they had nerfed a lot of what we really loved about the early days of NBA 2K26 MyTeam. And so we're not going to spend too much time talking about it, but we will start this podcast by talking a little bit about season 1 because we are going to give our grades. And as I mentioned, my podcasting co-host for all things MyTeam related here on the BrothSyndi MyTeam show is once again joining us. Harry, thank you for freeing up time for us. I know it's been a crazy, hectic week. I apologize on behalf of the both of us to our community for us not recording and uploading the podcast for today in my salary cap report episode that dropped on Friday. So you don't have to apologize to everyone, but you should tell everybody how you're doing and what your general feel is before we get into the nitty-gritty of season 2 of MyTeam.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I say it every time. I think this might be the first time we've ever done 2 pods in the same same I guess not, you can't really say season anymore. We missed that opportunity. But we don't really get to record pods like super close together, so it's cool that we're doing this. And yeah, it's interesting. I was kind of thinking back while you were doing your monologue or your introduction, and I was thinking, I think I remember the last pod we did talking about, 2K26, where the game was at, where my team was at. And I think I remember you asking me like what if I had any concerns for what was going to happen going forward. And I think around that time had just started seeing like slight little ripples where I think the 10K and the 7.5K in breakout were becoming a little less common than they were. But that was pretty much it as far as we've seen in terms of anything being nerfed. Any of the game mode rewards. And I said, I'm worried that this is going to continue being a trend. And I think even saying that, I did not realize, how much of a drastic change was going to happen with my team, before our eyes in literally a matter of like a couple days. Like we went like it feels like we're playing a completely different game from what we're playing in the beginning. It really felt like we were seeing so much light and positivity that we were seeing in my team, especially at launch for the first time ever, if not in so many years of just bad will that 2K kept building up within the community. And now it just feels like we're back to seeing that dark cloud, that gloominess over my team. And it's sad. I think if you listen back to that last pod, it was so full of light. We were really excited and looking forward to all the different things in the mode. And now it just seems we're just back to the regularness of being frustrated with what the mode has become. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can probably hear, and you will continue to hear, a lot of, I don't know if I want to call it sadness, but like a lack of energy. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, this is, I think, the shortest amount of time Harry has ever taken in his own introductory monologue. I feel like usually once I throw it over to you, Harry, to like say hi and say whatever else is on your chest.
It's like a 20-minute rant incoming.
Yeah. Well, and like actually, it's probably closer to like 5 to 10, and
Sure.
we're at the 4-minute mark of this podcast, which is hilarious. So this
And
may actually.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny you said that, because that's always like my main criticism of myself in these pods, where like every time I'm like, oh, I'm sorry I went on for so long, and then I listen to it back, I'm like, you know what, it really didn't go that long, but I'm so heated in the moment.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm just ranting for like 20 minutes. But yeah, I said it to you earlier today. I think it's kind of like what we have this season is just so unapologetically depressing and just like mediocre at best. It's like there's no meat on the bone to even rant about, because there's just nothing. Like there's literally nothing worth playing in this mode. I mean, we'll get into it, but and the thing is, and I'll before we jump into it, I think it's appropriate to say, this is the first time, in a long time with for me in 2K, where this negative podcast isn't a quitting 2K podcast, because this is like the first time in so many years where I'm enjoying the gameplay. I'm having a lot of fun playing the game
Yeah.
itself. So this is the first time I'm not saying like, all right, like, 2K sucks, like I'm done playing the mode for a while, and that'll be the last you hear from me because I'm not playing 2K. Like, this is the first year I'm looking forward to actually doing new endeavors in 2K, playing Park, playing stuff on the my player side. So I think it's just a different feel, because I'm not just ranting because I'm so upset that I can't even play the game that I paid money for because I'm so frustrated with what's going on. Like, I'm just sick of my team, and so I think it's a different feel.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's very, very well said. And I mean, I'm as your buddy of like 10 years now, I'm happy that you're not leaving 2K because I'm also feeling the same way, right? I currently have no plans of playing my career, but I will probably be adjusting my game plan for season two. And that's going to be in large part because of what we're going to be talking about in the latter portion of this podcast, or actually, I should say the majority of this podcast. We're not going to spend too much time talking about season one. I'm just going to briefly go over the general structure of season one, and then I'm going to give you a few, I guess not a few, I guess a few minutes to think about this question, Harry. I want to know your favorite and least favorite parts of season one. Um, for my team. But
Mm.
basically, again, we covered a lot of the nerfing of the rewards in our previous pod. I'm not going to touch on that right now. The general structure, because we're also trying to see if this is going to repeat in season two. On Fridays, we had promo agendas. We had promo packs, and the agendas for that promo really varied in rewards. I think the first week or two, we got 10-pack boxes. And then we started getting some different rewards that frustrated the community, like a Ruby coach. We started getting different kinds of badges. Tuesdays, we were getting super packs, and we didn't see any new players added on Tuesdays from the first week of season one until the final week of season one. We'll see if we get that same structure for season two. Assuming we do, we'll probably get new pink diamonds in the exchange. We're gonna have the same Wild Gems players more than likely. And the agendas that we got were for 4 players: a Gold, Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby Wild Gems. So nothing really too awe-inspiring over there. Outside of that, we would get like useless agendas on Mondays for like game changer packs and stuff that like the majority of people really didn't care about. There was that one random Wednesday where we got the dynamic duo for Henry Bibby and Earl to Pearl Monroe. I actually thought that was one of the better content drops that we got, and the fact that I'm saying that about 2 Sapphire cards I think is pretty hilarious. And I will end off by saying what my favorite part was of season one, and it's probably going to be Harry's favorite part, and that is the incredible pink diamonds that we got, that we were able to get at least, for redeeming the season one mode completion cards, and those were Jack Sigma, Jason Kidd, and Glenn Rice. That's all I gotta say about season one. I guess my least favorite part of it is honestly what they did with Breakout. But again, we talked about the nerfing. I'm not going to dive into that too much. Harry, what about you? What were your least favorite and most favorite parts of season one of NBA 2K26 My Team?
Interesting. I think for most, I'm going to say I'm gonna kind of overarch kind of what you said. Like
Okay.
the pink diamonds were great, and that was a fun part of my team to kind of look forward to. You spent so many years dealing with the RNG 95 plus packs or whatnot to grind for. It was super nice having actual players to look forward to, and made such a difference, because I even noticed like the difference of when I was aiming to grind for a Kid or a Glen Rice or a Sigma versus when I knew I was going for a 95 plus. I saw the excitement and motivation to get that reward dwindle down, even though I wanted the 95 plus. So I think it goes to show also just how important it is to know what you're grinding for when you're grinding. But
Yeah.
I think to kind of overarch that, I think what I really enjoyed, that I honestly I can't probably say for any other my team I played, is the versatileness, or I don't even know if that's a
The
word, but just
versatility?
how, yeah, the versatility of how of the different game modes that I played this season for
Yeah.
rewards. Like,
That's a
I think
great point.
normally for me, I'm very like one kind of minded. Like, I'll play domination in the beginning, and then that'll probably turn into like park, or like or other things, but I kind of say between those couple modes this season, I felt like I played everything. I love playing the park this year. I really found my love for threes and for the park, which is something I really lost last year because I
Yeah.
love triple threat, and I felt like last year really killed it, and this year I kind of found my own way to enjoy it. Playing twos with Jan was some of the most fun I've had on my team so
Oh
many
yeah.
years. Such a blast. Grinding out the offline salary cap, playing domination, playing breakout, which I didn't play at all last year. Playing, I played a lot of unlimited towards the beginning of the season, or unlimited, yeah, unlimited showdown.
Showdown. Yeah, I know. Freudian
Yeah,
slip.
showdown. Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's. I mean, the only mode I really didn't play is All Star Team Up, but I just think is a failure of a mode. But
Yeah.
we'll get into that later. But I really played everything this season, which is really cool because that's something I don't typically do. Um, and then least favorite, I mean, it's the obvious. It's just what the whole mode turned into. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
it's one thing, and I said this last pod, it's one thing to have sort of, we all went in with the expectations of what we, assumed my team was going to be. But it's one thing to then give us something great in the beginning and then take it away. It makes what is probably considered the norm for my team even worse, just because we had a much better taste in the beginning. Like we went from this great ribeye steak with fries and bread and all these great meals to just going back to like a Taco Bell. And maybe you expected that Taco Bell, but just because we had such a great meal in the beginning, that it just took away the flavors of it all. So it was very depressing to see
Mm-hmm.
everything. I mean, you said breakout, but everything, the park rewards got nerfed. We
Yeah.
lost the
We lost our
we
Sunday win
lost the,
streaks.
the park events. We lost the King of the Court rewards. We lost just everything. Everything got dwindled in front of us. So just you know, it's the obvious. Just like the lowest part is kind of what my team kind of dwarfed into. And it's funny, I said to Jan, it's like so many people are going to look back on that week and say, oh, that was such a great my team. But when you really think about it, it really is an outlier in the sense that like that was such a short window of season one. Like most of the season we had what we have now. So, it's just sad.
Yeah. So what grade would you give my team? And I want you to be very clear in what we talked about briefly in our pre-pod Discord chat. The scale that we're going to grade it on is going to be 1 to 10, but then you said that you wanted it to be more so like when we're grading it, we're going to kind of like weigh it on a scale of all Ultimate Team game modes, right? Like we're not going
Yeah.
to try and like curve it in any way, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I think when we grade it, we have to grade it based on an ultimate team.
Okay.
Like, to
So
me,
with
like,
that
and
in
I think
mind,
we
what would
both
your grade be?
so we're grading. This is one grade, including. See, I think it's just hard for me to wrap my head around it because it was just one good week, and now the rest of the weeks were just so bad.
Yeah.
But so I think it's hard for me to wrap my head around like what even like a fair like I think for me, and you can grade it the way you want. I think for me it's easier to grade that week one and then everything we got after that, like
Sure.
fairly. And I'm not, yeah. I think week one and like, listen, for me, like I'll like, you know, I think when you look at my team versus other ultimate teams, you have to grade it on a curve just because, like obviously like in MUT or like a FIFA mode, they typically do get a lot more stuff to grind or more exciting content. But I really think that first week, I'm gonna give it a solid like um I'm gonna give it an I'm gonna give it an 88, 89, which is I think it's really good for my team. Like that's a good spot to be in. Like that's you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think my team is probably on average like a high C at best. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and maybe that's even pushing it at most because I think they've had some seasons or some points where it feels like it's a D or even close to an F. So I think in 88 to 89, like it was a really great season a really great launch on my team that I think you can honestly compare to any sports ultimate team mode because it was just great. I remember saying in the first pod there was something for everybody. If you were a sweat, if you were someone like Jan and I that we'll dabble in online, but we're not like a sweat online. We're able to get something King of the Court. You got a lot from just playing offline. A lot of the pink diamonds I got were purely from offline. So it just felt like there was something for everybody to grind for and very rewarding. So at 89, and then I think by the end of my team, if we're grading what we had, I'd probably give it, like an 88 to like, I'd probably give it to like maybe a 71, 72. And that's a big decline in a matter of like like a couple days really. Went from like an 88 to like a low C. Maybe I don't think I'd give it a D yet. I think this season so far is looking closer to a D.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a 71 is fair for what it went to. Like average pretty much, and we started out pretty high.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, hold on, I just want to be clear. I thought we were doing 1 to 10, and then you said 88. Are we gonna do 1 to 100?
What?
I mean, we can still do 1. I mean, your 88 becomes like an 8.8,
That's
obviously.
so far. Yes, exactly. So an 8.8 to like a 7.1.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. And what are we calling a failing grade here? Are we calling a failing grade 0? Are we calling it like a 6? Like,
I guess you're right. Yeah, I would say a 6 or below.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, because a 6 would be like an F, I guess, kind of.
F.
So
exactly,
I guess for me, just to kind of like play alongside, like I'm gonna try to play it by your rules. And you said that I'm gonna give 1 grade for just that early part of season 1, and then I'm gonna do it for the entirety. I'm also going to include that. I think the early part of season 1 for me might have even been a 9. And I think part of that is going to be because of recency bias, because of just how bad a lot of the game modes were in 2K25. And when I saw Breakout come in and they made the changes that I wanted them to make, and then the rewards were significantly better than I thought they were going to be, and then the current board was what it was, and it was really, for its time, so easy to get those Breakout Exchange collectibles if you grinded out that game early enough before they introduced the other eras. It really made for a really fun experience for me, and that's why I'm going to give it a 9.0, so a 9 out of 10. If I were to grade the rest of the season, though, I'd probably, if you factor in week 1, I would probably still give it a 7. I'd probably give it a 7 flat. And I guess going from a 9 to a 7 is also a pretty big drop, right? That's going from like, what is that? Like an A or an A minus down to like a C.
And I think.
What's up?
Yeah, so I would say we're both like around the same. Like, obviously,
I think
a couple points off, but I would say overall we're in agreement pretty closely.
And I just want to say the things that kept the season afloat for me was because I did not grind for the season 1 mode completion cards very quickly. Like, I got Sigma pretty late. I got Kid and Glen Rice towards like the latter 75% of the season. Like towards the end, the latter 25%, towards the end of the season is when I got them. And I still had the salary cap grind for the Diamond Hidden Gems option pack for hitting 2,500 points in every single round. So I still had some things to grind for, but it's a 7 because the weekly content was honestly just not there. It was tough for me to fire up the game and be excited about content that was introduced after day 1. Everything I was grinding for was like available to me on day 1. Even like salary cap, while yes, I couldn't have gotten that Diamond Hidden Gems option pack on day 1, I knew of it on day 1. So like I knew that reward was going to be there. Do you have any final thoughts?
Interesting.
Yes, go ahead, Harry.
No, I was just saying, and the interesting part is like, I would say for the most part, I would even argue that you actively like disliked the gameplay in that first week of MyTeam.
Oh yeah,
yet you still gave it a 9, which goes to show like because you were getting very frustrated with the gameplay, but like that shows how much you loved the MyTeam mode. Just because the 9 is a very high grade for someone who really didn't love the gameplay.
Oh yeah, well, and to be fair, the gameplay that we had was the gameplay that I wanted, at least on offense. It's what I wanted offline last year, because in 2K24 MyTeam, when I was grinding out, whatever it was, like 800 games of clutch time offline, or I mean, it might have been 500, but I did so like in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks around like Christmas time / Hanukkah time for Hakeem Olajuwon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When I was doing that, it was so much easier to score than it was in 2K25 for me. Like being able to just like shoot around with like Ruby, Kyle Korver in 2K24 was much easier for me than scoring with anyone else in Breakout. And then you combine the fact that like in 2K25 the rewards sucked in Breakout, and shooting for me was harder because it was RNG. It's made for a really miserable experience. When I saw how easily I was greening shots and how quickly I was flying through Breakout games, that's what makes it a 9 for me. It's the combination of the gameplay was conducive to getting games done quickly and without really sweating it all. The rewards were good, and it just made for a really fun experience. Like, the rewards were good and the quality of life changes felt good. So that's why I got a 9. I guess my only closing remark on, season 1 is it kind of feels like it's sad, obviously, to have such a good week. And then I think we talked about it on that previous pod that like it felt like some of the changes they made in that first week were like 5 times better than what we had in similar game modes in NBA 2K25 My Team. And then when all the nerfs came in, everything felt like it was, still maybe 2 times better than what we had in, previous seasons in 2K25 My Team. But because we went from being 5 times better to 2 times better, it still felt like we were getting a worse product because we were. Now we're not comparing it to 2K25. We're comparing that product to week 1. I think now we've gotten to the point where the game mode has not improved, I think, in any capacity since week 1. Like, since week 1, it's quite literally only been downhill. And it's like, it's just like confusing at this point is what I feel. And I think that's, I mean, if you have any final thoughts on season 1, you can let them out now, I guess, Harry, because I feel like that's a decent segue into season 2. But
No,
yes, go ahead.
and it's interesting. Just to quickly add one more thing.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly. It's like, you know, you've said famously that, like, and it's true. If we don't see anything in the blog that that's gonna be great, we're not gonna get it in the game. Like, we shouldn't expect anything better. What we
Correct.
see in the blog is like the most exciting stuff we're gonna get. All we went into see this 2K knowing was that we were gonna get Pink Diamond, Sigma, Jason Kidd, and Glenn Rice. We were just happy about that upgrade in general from from 2K25 because we were both getting super frustrated about the RNG packs not grinding for any players. So like we were already this was already upgraded from last year. Like all the things that we were super hyped about in like starting out the game at launch were things that like were not mentioned. They just like we couldn't imagine Breakout being as good, or that these Pink Diamond grinds were going to be so accessible offline, or all these different things, and the King of the Court rewards were going to be so great. These were all things that 2K kind of just spun at us out of nowhere, but we were already going into it like happy with those minor upgrades that we were getting, like the RNG and all these other things. So it's such an interesting, it's confusing, like you said, that like even though I think that 7.1 is still a better grade than what we were getting in 2K25, it's like you said, the fact that we started so high at that 8.8, it's something that I don't think we've had at my team since like 2K19, maybe
Yeah.
2K20. That's what it made that 7.1, which is still better than what I probably would have given last year, like a 6.3 or something. It makes that 7.1 in a sense feel worse because we started out so high. And like you said, it's confusing, it's interesting. It's just such a weird start to the year that we're so not accustomed to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a pretty nice bow to put on season 1. We
Yeah,
talked about it more than I thought we were going to talk about season 1. But honestly, I feel like that's okay because look, season
there's not
1,
much to talk about
depending on what
the first
season
season.
2 is going to be, exactly. Like I actually think we're probably not going to talk a ton about season 2 because a lot of the issues that we have kind of rhyme amongst all the game modes, like the changes that they've made for season 2. Um,
Mm.
and we can talk about maybe reasons why if you want to talk about that. I'm not as big of a fan of talking about reasons because 2K is going to do whatever they want to do for whatever the reasons are. But I just want to like very briefly say that the reason why I'm cool with us like talking for almost 25 minutes about season 1 also is because if this is what future seasons are going to be like, there's a good chance that week 1 of My Team is going to be one of the biggest what ifs of the year. Like, what if we had that structure for the entirety of the year? How much would we have enjoyed this game? Because right now it's still early, and to be very clear, like we're going to talk about season 2, and this is probably going to be the most negative Harry and I have ever been at the same time
Well,
in
oh
a
yes,
podcast.
exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, because you've been more negative. You've definitely been more negative. But I think a lot of your negativity in the past have come from your expectations not being met. And I think what's sad about this is your expectations are being met in some
Yeah,
regards in terms of just how
yeah,
bad a lot of this is. I haven't ever seen so many people. Sorry, not even so many. I've never seen a season begin and everyone that I know on Twitter and on YouTube has nothing but bad things to say about it. Like no one's like, yeah, this all sucks, but there's no buts, you know? Like they're even like certain YouTubers. Like okay, I am gonna call out names in this podcast because I honestly don't give a flying f. People like Carlos Story and Killzamoy who will
kills
rip
Amoy.
packs like crazy, and Killzamoy, you know, obviously no personal issues with any of these people. Their job is to make content, right? And that's why
Yeah,
some of them will, they will rip packs. And, you know, people like them, like Carlos and Killzamoy, are more positive than negative, and that's fine. I'm not saying you have to be negative all the time, because there are content creators like that
I don't
who
even know
complain
about
a lot.
Carlos anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, he also knows that like the ship has kind of
It's
sailed for him with
hilarious.
MyTeam, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
respect him for that. Like, he's doing other content stuff. Good for him. That's actually, I like that. Like, I don't engage with that content, but I'm glad that he's kind of like, navigating to other waters here. But even them, Carlos and Killzamoy, for example, who are usually mostly positive, anything I've seen from them on Twitter or YouTube has mostly been negative, which I think is totally justified. And I'm not saying that 2K is going to look at all this negative reaction from the content creators and make a change, because I don't think they will. But it's just nice to see everyone kind of be on the same page. So I guess before we dive into it, Harry, because I have a lot of thoughts, I know you have a lot of thoughts. What was your initial impression? Because I was home for the majority of the day. I had a lighter work day, and I was keeping you posted on like my findings. I was like sending you screenshots and videos
Yeah.
from my Xbox, and I was sharing tweets with you. What were your impressions? What was your reaction as I was sending you everything bit by bit, and you were catching up on stuff on your own end for season 2?
I, um. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
on a
think it's.
general level.
Yeah. I said this to Jan a while ago. Like to me, this is like it's like when you get into a fight with like a friend or whatever, and you're yelling back and forth, and all of a sudden your friend just like he has like a very like I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like it's like he makes a comment to you just pure out of anger, just to kind of get it, like just a pure comment out of spite, having nothing to do with your arguing, but he knows that that one comment is just gonna get at you. Like
Yeah.
it just feels like that's what 2K is kind of doing. Like things as small as like the daily objectives. Like now a lot of them now require you to get specific team stats,
Yeah, they're like
or
hazing
which is like
us.
ridiculous. Yeah, or like as small as like the breakout, like they took the badge option pack. Now you only get 2 picks instead of 5. These are such minor, minuscule things, but 2K is still like doing this to hurt us. Like they're so small, like they're not going to make a difference, but like, and there's no reason to do it, but they're still doing it just to kind of get that, like, it's like we did nothing wrong and they're just attacking us. It seems like we're on the defense, like they're on offense. It just like we're the minnows and they're the sharks. Like they're doing everything they can to beat at, to hurt us. Like, salary cap, like instead of having the option pack, now we just get one of the a mode completion shattered thing piece, and these pink diamonds are already so bad. So it just it continues to blow my mind that like we're finding more and more small ways that they're just trying to like sting at us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just kind of like I'm just like in disbelief that like they're stooping it to the such low. I mean, taking like the 95 plus pack away from the mode completion reward. It's like they're just doing. It's like they're making it obvious that
Yeah.
they purposely are trying to frustrate and upset us. So it's just like disbelief,
Definitely. No, I think that's a really good way to describe it. Just to kind of like reorganize everything, because you mentioned like a lot of stuff that happened, right? And I
Yeah, yeah,
just to try to keep us like somewhat organized, because I also want to try and like I really do, not that I want to like list all the bad things, because that's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
ridiculous, but I do want to go through a couple of things, like at least one thing from each mode or each like
yeah.
main aspect of the game mode that has changed, that has kind of frustrated me. And I want to start with the season pass, because this is something that I don't know if you or I talked about. So if you remember, we got that graphic on Wednesday showing the 20 players that we're going to be able to get as mode reward cards, right? We had the 5
Mm,
pink diamonds, and we didn't even talk about those. I don't know if it's really worth talking about it all that much.
no.
They're all pretty awful. Like Chris Bosch
Yeah.
looks pretty good, but it's actually shocking how bad some of these cards are. Like, just to name a few names: Pink Diamond Sidney Moncrief, I believe, and I'm saying these all off the top of my head. I think he has a 56 3-pointer. I think Wes Unseld has like a 73 speed and a 67 3-pointer. I think
Yeah.
Elton Brand has like a 40 or 50 3-pointer, and he was the card most of us were excited to get out of all the Pink Diamond hidden gems. The only card that looks somewhat decent is Pink Diamond Mitch Richmond. But if you
Who has
compare,
84 speed?
Yeah, 84 speed, and he has like below 70 interior defense. And I know Mitch Richmond is not known for defense, but if you compare him to two shooting guard cards, who I think the majority of people who played in season one have, which are Klay Thompson, who's a pink diamond, and then Diamond Bruce Bowen, they're both significantly better than Mitch. In fact, I would like everyone watching this video to go onto 2KDB right now and compare the ratings between Pink Diamond Klay Thompson, who we got for level 40 last season, to that Pink Diamond Mitch Richmond. And I want you to see which two ratings Mitch Richmond is significantly better in than Klay. Take a few seconds, come back, and you're going to notice that those ratings are shot IQ, which is by 30, and intangibles, which is by 30. And if you don't know how intangibles work, it's like a fluff rating. 2K will intentionally raise the ratings of certain players just by boosting their intangible rating. Like Klay Thompson has a 50, and as we get later on in the year, we're gonna maybe see cards like maybe like a Galaxy Opal Wemby have like a 25 intangible rating, which honestly means that card's gonna play like a dark matter. The fact that they've kind of gone in the reverse, they're like adding fluff. They're making they're glorified amethyst cards in my opinion, but they're
Yeah.
making them have a pink diamond shell just by boosting their intangibles is really frustrating. Before I continue, do you have anything to add about the players that we got, Harry?
Yeah, it's just crazy, like you said. It's funny. There's some cards that are just so like minor that you kind of pay attention to over the years. Like for me, Wes Unseld is one of those cards because I had him in 2K17, 2K18. He was a domination reward and he was a beast that year. So I always kind of keep an eye. Like I never get him, in future 2Ks, but I always kind of keep tabs on him. He has never had that low of a 3-pointer. Like it's insane to me. Like they've all these cards are so bad. It's like it's crazy. It's especially after coming from a Jack Sigma, Jason Kidd and Glenn Rice, all these incredible cards. I mean, even if you want to look Klay Thompson, who's a comp card, and now we have Chris Bosh. It's just it's such a bad selection of cards, and it's like the illusion of like more is less. You know what I mean? It's like 2K wanted, I guess maybe they wanted to make it seem like we were getting more just because we have way more options of players. But I mean, I would take Kid, Glen Rice, or Sigma, even just one of them over that whole bundle of cards, including the diamonds and amethysts, in those reward selections. So, yeah, it's just insane. I mean, I didn't even know the intangible thing until you had brought it up, like the fact that 2K is even doing it. It's just like, it's just so disgusting, all these different tactics they're doing to purposely, cause outrage in the community. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, no, it's really really ridiculous. And going back to the point, because I kind of got off on a tangent there talking about the players, because I didn't have the players listed in my notes. Funny enough, because that's how irrelevant they are. The season pass last season, and I believe in previous seasons, whenever you would hit like level 37 or so, if you bought the pro pass, you would get a diamond option pack, for example, right? Like we got
Mm.
that last season. I think that's how I got Bruce Bowen. That's how I think the majority of people who bought the Pro Pass last season ended up getting Bruce Bowen. They either got him out of the Hidden Gems Diamond Pack for hitting like level 32 or 33, or they got him from the option pack. I need to go back and see if there are any Hidden Gems Diamond Packs at all in the Season Pass, but I'm pretty sure they're not. I know there's like a random Wild Gems Ruby card, but at level 37, you guys are going to notice that you still get a Diamond Option Pack. However, that is not a Hidden Gems Diamond Option Pack. If you were wondering how to get those diamonds that were in that graphic of 20 cards that 2K showed us on Tuesday, and mind you, those diamonds are also all, for the most part, pretty terrible. Outside of maybe Bob Love, who's at
Yeah.
best mid. If you want to know how to get those cards, you're going to find them in that option pack. So you can now make
Oh,
the argument that for the first time ever, the Pro Pass is it's still, I think, worth it to some extent if you're going to spend money on the game. Like, I still got the Pro Pass. That's also because I wanted to have J.R. Smith for my Knicks team, even though that J.R. Smith is probably not a great card. That Pro Pass, because of us not getting Hidden Gems Diamonds for this stage of the game, and that option pack being not just bad, it's objectively terrible. This makes this season pass one of the least worth it season passes to buy
yeah.
that I can remember, you know?
Yeah, and the thing was, it was like I talked about early on my biggest pro for season one, the the versatility of all the modes. You want to play all the modes. It's not obviously like I enjoy the gameplay, but part of the reason was of all the different things I can work towards. The Glen Rice, the Kid, the Sigma, the 95 plus pack. Taking out the 95 plus pack now, there is not a single pink diamond that I want to go for. So that
Yeah.
pretty much makes none of the versatility is completely diminished because now none of the game modes are worth it to play because I don't want that end goal. If you don't want any of those cards, there is literally no incentive for you to play any of the modes. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just it's amazing how that one little thing of finding out what those rewards are, it automatically lowers the season so much because now there's no excitement because you don't want to play anything. There's nothing to play for. So it's just it's insane.
Yeah, I want to go back to something that you said towards the end of your piece talking about season one, and or maybe it was towards the middle. But anyways, you were talking about how it was really nice to know who you were grinding for in season one. You knew we had the guaranteed Jack Sigma, Jason
Yep.
Kidd, and the Glen Rice cards. You knew you had them. This is the other nice thing about knowing what your rewards are. We have 5 pink diamonds who, if you played this game in season 1, none of those pink diamonds are going to really make an impact for you on your team. And so knowing that we have them, I think it kind of makes the choice of sweating or grinding your life away this season, it makes the choice easier for a lot of people, I think myself included, for Harry
Yep.
included, where we grinded the game a lot. I think in season 1 for us to get Glen Rice, Jack Sigma, and Jason Kidd, and Harry even got Pink Diamond Wally Zerbiak, who we love so
Oh
much.
God, the
But
worst card.
what's crazy is I'm glad you got Wally last season because, like Harry said, if you look in the exchange, they took out the 95 plus hidden gems pack. That's not there. The only things you can use your season 2 mode completion reward card on are the 5 pink diamonds, who we mentioned, who are all terrible. I think there's a 10 pack box for the Rainmaker set that just came out today, which I don't know why you would do that. The Legends badge option pack, which is probably the best choice right now. And then 50k MT, which is, like, again, not bad, but you're not going to grind the amount of games you need to do to get that completion card just for the 50k MT reward. At least not in, I'm not going to outright go for that, Like, if I end up playing enough games by the end of the season in, like, one particular game mode to get it, then I will. But that's really, really frustrating. Just to put a bow on your point, Harry, about how there is no 95 plus hidden gems pack in the exchange. I want to, like, kind of now do, like, a generalized thing before we go through all the game modes, is talk about how there's, like, one common thread amongst a lot of these game modes, and I have the Reddit post up right here. PSA: there are no attainable 92 plus hidden gems in season 2. So the crests in domination don't give you hidden gems anymore. Now you get a pink diamond Lenny Wilkins coach card. Showdown, I have a tweet from Most Ballin right here where you can see, if you go through all the fine print here, you're not going to see in the tier 1 showdown rewards a 92 plus hidden gems anymore. There's now 4 Rainmaker packs. They have 2 hidden
And
gems.
mind you, to quickly
Yes.
add,
Yeah.
that was the only worth it reward for that, getting the weekly rewards for Showdown in the tier.
Yeah,
15.
yeah.
The only good reward
absolutely.
gone.
Like, it was the most worth it, and Harry and I still didn't play Showdown, Like, now I now have negative reasons to play Showdown. Like, they take that out and they're giving you 2 hidden gems, 87 plus overalls. Like, that's crazy to me that they're going to do that. Moving on, salary cap. We're going to talk about salary cap. Actually, I want to talk about it right now really quickly because I don't really have a lot to say about salary cap. I can't believe that, salary cap is the game mode that I primarily focus on this channel. I talked about it in the salary cap report episode that I recorded and dropped yesterday, on Friday. Why would I, in good faith, tell anyone to grind salary cap where instead of grinding up to 2,500 points in every single round to earn shatter prize pieces for a 92 plus hidden gems option pack, in which I got, I think, 5 players that are better than all the pink diamonds that we got this season from, the mode completions. Instead of getting that option pack, you're now getting shatter prize pieces that go towards a season 2 mode completion, which makes no sense to me. Like, why would I want to sweat my life away playing in salary cap online for that. Like, I'm probably still gonna play salary cap because again, I like playing that game mode. And if anything, now it's kind of like a sigh of relief. I can kind of take it easy, and maybe I just grind up to maybe at most 2,000 points to get the 10,000 MT. And then if I miss that for one of the rounds, that's okay because it's not a shattered prize piece for 10,000 MT. Although maybe I'm giving 2K ideas um, for that. Um, Harry, did you see? I mean, first of all, I don't know if you have any thoughts about salary cap, because if you don't, I really
Yeah.
want to get to domination. But yes, go ahead.
I was gonna quickly add.
Yes,
It's kind of
please.
funny to me because, last season when I actually enjoyed the season completion rewards, I would have preferred that over the option, not 92 plus pack. And now it's the complete opposite. Now the rewards for the completion are so bad that I would take the 92 plus option pack any day of the week. So it's just funny how it goes to show that 2K is never gonna do the right thing. Like whether for good or for bad, it's always gonna be the reward that you don't prefer somehow.
Yeah. Now, Harry, what do you know about domination in season two? I don't know how much you looked into it. I know you and I didn't talk about it much. Do you know how it works for season two?
No, I know that it's a Robert Horry, correct, for the
Correct.
diamond.
So Robert Ory is the 99 star card, and then as I mentioned, you get for getting the 33 crests instead of getting like a diamond hidden gems pack, you get the pink diamond Lenny Wilkins coach. Which, look,
Oh
honestly,
God.
I'm actually cool with getting a coach. I do wish he was a little better, personally speaking. Um, and what's crazy is like looking at like the diamond Eric Spolstra that we get for hitting like level 20. I feel like he's like, I'd rather have him than Lenny Wilkins because I don't have to grind crests to get Eric Spolstra, if that makes sense. And then when we inevitably get a Halloween event in a couple of weekends, I'm sure they're going to put a coach in there that's going to be possibly better than Lenny Wilkins. The big issue with domination, and I honestly think, as frustrated as I am with salary cap and with the other game modes that we have currently, and the general state of my team, I think domination, even though I still haven't beaten season one Dom, I'm going to be grinding that to hit level 40 this season because I have nothing else to really play. My biggest issue with domination, Harry, is I need to go back and confirm this, but I think in order to get the crests, it's not like get 8 steals, get 8 blocks. You now need to run with 10 players from a particular team. So they're kind of gatekeeping domination for the first time ever by putting in a cost of entry. If you don't have
That
those,
really.
yeah, if you don't have those players, you need to buy those players. And I don't know if you saw any pictures floating around on Twitter or on YouTube, Harry. Did you see what 2K put in the pack market today?
No.
They put packs for all 32 teams. They're effectively just Series 1 packs for each team. And you may be wondering, well, okay, that could be nice, right? Because those cards are actually kind of inflated in value in the auction house already. Maybe we're able to buy these packs with MT, and we can add these players to our team, even if it's a random card. No, it's a random card. All those packs have 3% odds at a ruby. So like if you buy the Suns pack and you're trying to get Devin Booker, you have a 3% chance of getting Devin Booker. And those packs cost 999 VC. So they want you to buy packs
Yeah.
in order to play domination. I think for the first time ever, I can't ever recall 2K doing that. And it's honestly, like, it's sad and honestly hilarious at the same time. Because if you had any doubts that 2K did not hit their quota during that first season, during that first month of 2K, I think this was the most obvious way of them showing, okay, this is like, I don't want to call it like a get rich quick scheme, but this is like a desperation scheme. Like, this is them really showing that they're just going to make the rewards as bad as possible, and they're going to make it to where if you want to play domination, which I think the majority of people who play this game do still play this game offline, and I think those players would play domination. 2K is going after them now, and I just don't think that's cool at all. So now, knowing what you know about this, Harry, with the 999 VC Series 1 packs and the crest now requiring you to have 10 players from particular teams, how do you feel about domination in Season 2?
Yeah, I mean, I'll quickly add, it kind of hit me while you were talking. The fact that you're not lecturing, the fact that you're educating me on the new domination shows how done I am with my team, because domination is like my bread and butter. Like, I love domination. I didn't even care enough to really look into it. I just saw it was a Robert Horry, which in the grand scheme of things, reward wise, I haven't looked at the stats. So you can tell me if I'm wrong. That doesn't seem terrible. Like, Robert Horry is always kind of a decent card in 2K,
Yeah,
and
well, you
I
know
didn't
what's
think the other
sad,
one.
Harry? You can make the argument he's the second best reward card that's not Chris Bosh.
Yeah, seriously, okay, I'm glad we're on the same page
It's
because I didn't think
crazy.
the other Dom rewards were pretty good. So I don't think that's terrible. But yeah, the crest thing is just sad for many reasons. I mean, the reward, I really enjoyed getting that 92 plus. I grinded every crest last season from both Doms, so I did it and I enjoyed it for the most part. It was fun to grind for it. It's a shame that we've went from a player to now a coach. I'm not a coach guy. It's not my thing, so I don't really care. And then I really enjoyed getting those objectives. I mean, some of them were ridiculous, like the blocks and the steals on WNBA. I don't even want to get into how much stress and pain that took from my life.
Yeah.
But I love that it was kind of like it kind of reminded me of like a Madden grind, trying to work towards objectives in games, and they were small objectives. So the fact that now that's completely out of the game and now it's based on just needing players, it's just lazy and just it's I keep saying it's sad. I'm trying to think of a better adjective, but it's just disappointing. Like everything has to go downhill. It's like you said before, they're doing everything they can to just attack the off line grind. And I don't even care about the needing player thing, just because like if you played a lot of my team in season one, you should have a lot of those collection. I mean, I don't. How many do you need? Like 10,
Yeah,
or
you
what is
need
it?
10. I think you need 10 players from like
Jesus,
one
that's
team.
kind of ridiculous.
No,
Okay,
10
that's
is
a lot.
ridiculous. No,
Yeah,
it is a lot.
that's like
Like,
that's
yeah.
pretty much majority of the. That's like the whole collection, pretty much, right? Isn't it like 50?
Yeah.
How many do you need?
I think you need like what? Isn't it like 13 players on a team, right? Or it could be
Yeah,
15, I guess.
yeah,
But like I
that's
know that
absurd.
like I saw some clip on Twitter of, again, I'm gonna name drop. Carlo didn't have enough players from like one of the teams to even grind out that one domination game in question that he was trying to play, which is crazy because the game's been out for like what, like 42 days, and I'm pretty sure Carlo has 40 days logged on 2K26. So the fact that he doesn't
Yeah.
have 10 players on a given team, it's honestly, it's
And
totally
again,
insane.
what I said before, it's like it's not even like this domination is like the holy grail with rewards. Like it's literally just a
No.
typical dom. So it's like the fact again they're doing everything they can. Like there is no like there's no whale I guarantee you there's no whale that's gonna be playing this domination to completion with all the quests and everything. They're just not. Like there's nothing for them to gain. So it's like the fact that they're just doing this anyways to attack the people who would grind this. It's just so disappointing because honestly the quests were like probably the savior of dom last year or last season because Pascal was okay, the women's reward I didn't really care for, but at least you knew you were going to get another 92 plus from playing it helped. I mean, I got a Rex Chapman and he became one of my favorite cards
Yeah.
in the game. So it's so disappointing what every mode is. The fact that they even have to dwindle down dom is just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's really really sad, and I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it because he made a lot of points when he was going off on his rant. If you guys have the chance and you guys are on Twitter, I think if you want to be entertained, go and check out any clip you can find of Ambitious rants
Oh god.
about the state of my team here on, well, for us it's still day one of season two, but I guess for you guys, go back and look at what happened yesterday on, I guess, on Ambitious streams. I was not in there, but I was on Twitter and I saw a few people like Kerr, who I have one of Kerr's tweets up, and he had, I think, a quote tweet with Ambitious rant, like one of his 3-minute rants, which is crazy. He said a lot of stuff in there. I don't agree with everything, but the one thing he said that I do agree with, and I'm curious to hear your take on this, Harry. And I want to give Ambish credit for this. Not that him saying this inspired me to have this take. I already had this take, and if we did record yesterday, I would have shared it. But I think multiple people have this take too, and that is that, I mean, 2K made a lot of money with the events last year. No shocker at all there. To me, I think if 2K wanted to maximize their profits with an event, it would make sense for 2K to basically strip away every rewarding aspect of this game in hopes that when we get the events and people see the guaranteed value, that you're going to see people open up those boxes, for $100. I'm in the boat where like last year, like, I was in a good groove with like, okay, I accepted what game modes were not working for me, and I found the game modes that were working for me. And even with me being somewhat content with the state of 2K25 last year, even though I didn't love the game last year, I still spent money on some of those Hall of Fame boxes, just because like the value was good. Like 2K doesn't have to make the game mode rewards bad to make people want to buy the boxes. I just feel like that's not good business practice to try and put pressure on your community to buy boxes by making the game mode not rewarding. I think what 2K is doing right now, and you're seeing it right now with Harry. My follow-up question is going to be what your plans are for season 2. I think what they're doing right now is they're isolating their community and they're basically forcing them to leave. Like, it actually, for the first time ever, to me now more than any time in season 1, it makes me feel like 2K doesn't want people playing my team if you're not spending money. Like, truly, they don't want you on the game mode at all. Like, they don't care about you going onto the game mode for their, for their numbers, to go back to their shareholders and be like, oh, we have 10,000 people playing my team. If there are 2,000 people that are not spending money actively on this game, and those 2,000 people leave today because there's nothing to grind for, they don't care, because the 8,000 who are spending money on this game are still here. And they're going to try to make more money from those 8,000 when the Halloween event drops, probably in a couple of weeks. So, Harry, do you agree? Do you think that 2K is intentionally sandbagging it with these rewards in hopes to make even more money by putting out what's going to look like better rewards in the exchange and in the pack market during the Halloween event that we're going to probably get in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on what I was talking about before, it's a weird year for I think a lot of people because on the park side, it really does look a lot more fun. Like everything's brighter, the rewards are really great. You now have daily objectives, seasonal objectives, rep rewards, and these are all amazing rewards. I mean, it's funny. I was comparing the level rewards. You look at level 18 for park, you get a car, you can drive around the city. You look at level 25 for my team, you get some hollow game changers. Like it's literally night and day between what you're getting on park and my team, and it's very fun on park. The gameplay is great this year, so I think this is the first year we're really not seeing a lot of people just quit 2K altogether because they're not enjoying my team, but we're just seeing them move on to different things in 2K, like whether park or whatnot. So yeah, and I said to Jan as a joke earlier, I was like 2K when they know that they're just pushing the low money spent my team players to park, where they're just gonna end up spending hundreds on my player builds. It's like it really does feel like they're fine with that, and that's just what they're doing. I mean, they're really not hiding the fact that they don't want the grinders on the game. What is there to do? There's nothing to really go for.
Yeah.
So to piggyback what I'm doing, like I said, it looks like I'm taking my parks to the city for at least season 2. I'm not gonna say I'm quitting my team just because like I don't care enough about my team to quit. You know what I mean? Like I just
Yeah.
don't care enough to get that worked up to just say, oh, I'm quitting. Like I
Yeah.
don't care enough.
And
Like
sorry, Harry, I just want to
for now.
interrupt very, very, very quickly, then I promise we'll go back. People who go on Twitter and say that they are X amount of weeks my team sober, you're a fucking loser. I'm sorry. I hate when people do that. No one cares. It's not
Yeah.
that deep. If you're not enjoying the game, don't play the game. And if the game is fun again in season 3, there's no shame in coming back. Okay? If you're taking it that seriously, I'm sorry, 2K has a lot of issues, but you're the problem. There are plenty of people now on Twitter over the last month who are coming out and they're saying like, "Oh, I'm X weeks my team sober," acting like they're some elitist. You're not. If anything, that just shows how small of a person you are. I'm sorry. Rant over. Harry, continue. You're gonna play the park, and then what else
Yeah.
for
Very
season
well.
2?
Very well. Very well said. So
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry.
Um. No. Yeah. No. If one might even say if you hate my team lethally enough that you're gonna quit my team and become my team sober, then that's on you. Maybe you should touch grass a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah. So I'm definitely taking I'm taking my talents to the park. I just love I really like the gameplay this year, and I like it too much to just quit 2K altogether because I'm not enjoying my team. Like I'm just gonna find fun playing park. It's kind of funny too. I was thinking about this today. Playing the GTA story mode. Last like a couple months ago or last month, it kind of made me more excited to play the park in a way, just because of the city and all the different things. But side note, but yeah, so I'm just excited to play that. I'm actually excited. Like I'm excited. I feel like there's just a lot of fun things in the park to do, and it seems like they're really rewarding you well. And like, I think from the thing that Jan and I will, I'm not going to say disagree, but just like the things we look for in my team. I think Jan appreciates the collection and team building
Correct. Yeah.
facets of my team a lot more than I do. Like I like being able to grind stuff, and it feels like the park this year having those daily objectives and seasonal objectives and rep and all these different things that you can work towards all year, that kind of fills that my team hole for me that I would kind of miss or long for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, so I'm excited for Park. That's not to say I'm quitting my team. There's just nothing to really get excited for my team.
Well, yeah, I mean, you and I are going to still
Um,
play Park and my team together this season. That's still the hope,
Oh,
you
100%. I
know?
even told Jen, like, if there's one grind I'd be down to play, it would be the park grind just because, like, we have so much fun playing. It's insane. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of fun.
And I
So,
think
yeah,
we
so
are
I'm
going to
just,
hopefully stream at least once this season together
yeah, yeah, yeah,
playing Park.
for
I
sure.
think that could be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll try to clip a couple of the games or the funny
Mhm.
moments and try to turn them into YouTube shorts. I'd love to try to do that. Because when Harry and I have played Park this season, there are like genuinely at least a couple of times where him and I are like
Like,
crying
in
from
tears.
laughter,
Yeah.
literally. Like there was a play where Harry was like, I think trying out leaners with Glenn Rice, and I kid you not, we bricked like 7 in a row. I got all 7 rebounds, and every time I got it and he would shoot it, you would just hear like the laughter would get louder. I was crying so hard to the point I couldn't even see the ball when I was rebounding it. And I was just pressing the icon that I knew Harry was because I only had one teammate because it was twos. It
Yeah.
was so fun, and so I'm hoping we can bring that content for you guys too. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I think it just goes to show again how fun the gameplay is because I
Yeah,
think last year I just would have quit my team. I would have said I'm quitting. I hate the gameplay. I hate the content direction. Like I'm just done. I would literally I would never quit my team purely just because of how much I enjoy playing like Park with Jan and stuff like that. So I think the best way to put it, I'm just retiring from like full. I don't even want to say full time like it's my career, but like I'm retiring from like putting like more effort than I probably should into my team. I'm just
yeah.
gonna put into other things. I'm gonna play Park. I'm gonna do other things, and then Jen and I will come together. We'll play some Park, and we'll go from there. But I mean, until my team gives me something to get excited about beyond like having fun playing Park with Jan, like I probably just won't be playing that much my team, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that's totally fine. Again, like I said, and like Harry said at the very beginning, like what's nice about this podcast is it's not like the season 2 pod last year where Harry was like, I'm done, right? He's saying I'm still on the game. I'm just gonna be doing other things. He's still gonna play Park like with me, which I'm really excited about. I mean, what's the one like silver lining with the season 2 mode completion cards not being that good is Harry can afford to take a break and play Park, and he can still come back to the game at any point in season 2, and he's gonna have better cards, better like reward cards than we have currently in season 2, just from what he got in season 1. Like his Sigma,
Yeah.
Glenn Rice, and Jason Kidd, even his freaking Wally Zerbiak are better than anything
Oh
that we
god.
have available to us right
I
now.
mean, probably yeah.
Um,
Sadly.
just to, I guess, to wrap this up, just to say what I'm going to do, because, to Harry's point, I still do enjoy the team aspect, even with them not really giving me a lot to look forward to this season on day one. I kind of still want to play salary cap, just not a lot of it. So it's kind of nice that I can kind of play at a slower pace, which I really like.
Mhm.
Um, I also want to try and not call this season an absolute disaster yet, just because of its start. The start is an absolute disaster, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the season will be. And I'm not going to say I'm leaving out hope, because I'm not. I'm just leaving the door open. Like if 2K comes out and they make changes that I like, I'll talk about it, and I'm not going to bash them for it, right? Like I'll maybe be upset
See,
that they waited until
yeah.
X amount of time to do it, but I'm just saying that I'm past the point where I'm gonna be like, oh, like if the game mode is actually really, really bad, I'm just not gonna play it. Like I talked about it previously. I had like 4 hours of video game time today, which is a lot for a Friday for me. Um, I ended up playing the new Pokemon game for 3 hours, and I played my team for like one.
Oh yeah,
Like
I forgot that came out today.
yeah, no, and I had a lot of fun playing that game. I'm gonna probably play more of it. Maybe not tonight because it's getting kind of late for us. But maybe tomorrow morning. I'll probably do it before I have to, go outside and do stuff with my life. Um, but I want to wait to see. Going back to my plan for season 2, I want to wait and see what's gonna happen on Tuesday, because Tuesdays in general in season 1 were awful because it was super packs from day one, quite literally on Tuesdays, and we didn't get any new cards the entirety of season 1 on Tuesdays. I'm curious to see what 2K is going to do on Tuesday, because Tuesday for this upcoming week is going to be the official tip off for the NBA regular season. We have 2 games Tuesday night. I think it's 2 games. The Knicks play Wednesday night against the Cavs. I'm pumped for that game, obviously.
That's nice.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but the fact that the NBA season is starting, I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of NBA is back agenda set. Maybe we get a promo. Maybe we don't get any of that stuff. I don't know, but I'm curious to see what happens on that Tuesday. And then I'm curious to see what that Halloween event is going to look like. Because if we go back to last year, Halloween, we got the Dia de los Muertos event. That was, I think it was the first event that we got in 2K25. And we actually had some decent grindable options that we were able to get without spending money really from the exchange. Amethyst Eduardo Nahara was great. The Diamond Jaime Jaquez Jr. was like one of my like longest tenured salary cap cards in like that early to mid phase of salary cap for me. I loved Jaime. I mean, yeah, he's only a 6'6" small forward, but he had a really nice jumper and he played well enough for me on defense and salary cap to keep using him. I'm curious to see if 2K is going to give us better cards in the exchange for, events, which is not going to excuse them giving us bad rewards to start the season. It's absolutely not. But at least it'll give us something to grind for at some point. I just don't want my team to get to the point where we're reliant on events for the game mode to be worth playing. That's my fear. Right? That's what we had last year. When we didn't have events that were good, or when we didn't have events in the game at all, towards like the middle to end of the year, the game felt stale. And that's the issue right now, is the game feels stale and it's leaving a lot of people kind of like waiting for something to do. And what I don't want is for 2K to drop a Halloween event and put all of these $100 VC offers, or I guess 450K VC offers in the pack market for people to engage with. Like, I want there to be more.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be happy to spend $100 for content for like one video like I did last year. I mean, I think I did it like twice or three times. I had a plan for all of them, right? Like when I did it for the winter promo, I think was my first one. I did it because I wanted to get Kawhi, and I love that Kawhi, and I got Anthony Davis. I ran them both for a long time. Like, I'm a big fan of guaranteed value, and so if I know what I'm spending my money on, I have no issue doing that. Like, I don't rip pack. It's not that I don't rip packs because I don't have the money to spend on this game. I'm willing to spend a little bit of money, but I'm not going to spend it on packs that have bad odds, that have no guarantees. Like, if I spend $100 on this game and I walk away with one Amethyst out of a 51 pack box, I'm probably deleting the game. Like, I'm going to go crazy, or I'm going to join Harry in my career. So do you have any closing thoughts, Harry, on season 2? I am really looking forward to playing Park with you. I'm really excited to make content with you. Hopefully, we have like a whole like name for our series and everything. We're really hoping to unleash it this season. Do you have any closing remarks or anything that you want to add before we get on out of here, Harry?
Yeah, a couple things. One,
Sure.
I'm genuinely excited for part 2. Like, I'm curious. I want to like try to go. I think the 350 is like a ridiculously win thing to look forward to, but I do want to see how far we can get this year if we can free up enough time, because I mean, when we play, like, we can easily get like 15, 20 games done even some days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Harry, one thing real quick, if we do get a Halloween event and they give us like a Sunday win streak, and the win streak is like actually doable and not 25 wins in a row, I think that could be a really fun stream to do, because Park's gonna be
totally.
like bouncing on those days, So like it's
Yeah,
gonna
no,
be filled with people.
No, 100%. So like, I think that's what's cool about this podcast. It's like I'm negative about my team, and Jan is as well, but we're still excited to play the game together, which I think is a huge upgrade from what we've had previous years. Where like, if the content wasn't good, I hated the gameplay, so I was just done. So I think I'm happy about that to an extent, but also, and I don't mean to be like a somber, because I think you were being a little more positive about like what maybe we'll get in the future. I think it's hard because it's like, you gave my team a 70 for season 1 after week 1. Think about what you would grade it if we didn't have those pink diamond grinds. If we didn't have the, you know what I mean? Like, what would you have given it?
Oh yeah, it would have been a failing grade. It would have been like a
That's what
6
I'm
out of 10.
So it's the fact that that's already such an L. It's now we're just completely reliant on like what you said, 2K giving us events, which is like, if we're lucky, we'll get an event every like couple weeks, and that's lucky. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see what our grade ends up becoming later on the year, but it's a scary note that the long-term content of my team is really dead right now. So we're completely reliant on 2K giving us like that short-term fix through events and weekly content, which is, I would probably say, is their biggest weakness in my team. So I would say the odds are pretty stacked against them giving us an actual a better great than what it probably will be.
No, I think that's perfectly said. I think just to put a bow on it, exactly like you said, Harry, I think we just finished off a season that was carried by the season-long grind that we got on day one. In spite of the bad week-long grinds, we still enjoyed the season because of that. And now we're kind of relying on 2K to do a 180 and do the exact opposite.
Exactly.
We have awful season-long grinds right now, but we're not even relying, we're basically assuming that if we're going to give season 2 anything close to a 7 out of 10 or 7.1 out of 10 or a 71, whatever grade you want to call it, if 2K is going to get that kind of grade from us, given what we know about season 2 right now, the weekly content has to hit. If the weekly content is anything like what we got in season 1, even if we have events, like if we get one event and it's Halloween in season 2 and that's it, and the rest of the weekly content is status quo to what we got in season 1, there's not going to be much of a reason to play the game, And just like Harry
Thanksgiving is in season 3, right?
That's a good question. I think season 3 starts with Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure it does.
Okay.
Pretty sure it does. Okay. Yeah, because that's like what, like in 5 or 6 weeks. And Thanksgiving is going to be that Thursday, so more than likely, yeah, that's my guess. And I think we got a really trash like Thanksgiving or Harvest promo last year. I'm pretty sure, but then again, I don't really remember. I feel like it wasn't great, and then we got a better one for the winter festival, which was like a couple weeks later.
Interesting.
So, I mean, again, we'll see. We're 2 weeks away as of this recording from Halloween. It's kind of put up time, like put up or shut up time for 2K. In some regards, like it's not like, okay, us leaving is going to really impact them, but I think maturing as a 2K player is leaving the game or limiting the time that you spend on the game, not to like try and hurt 2K, but to try and help yourself. And I think that's like the main message I guess I want to get across. Like, it's not noble. You shouldn't be trying to quit MyTeam and then, like I said earlier, say you're MyTeam sober to try to flex on others. You should be trying to be, if you want to be MyTeam sober, or if you want to limit your game or your time on the game rather, like I'm doing, or maybe you're not even trying to play MyTeam at all, like Harry, you shouldn't be doing it because you're trying to like make a statement. You should just be doing it because that's what makes you happier. It's a video game. Do what makes you happiest. If playing the game makes you mad, don't play the game. Find something else in the game. Like if you want to get, Harry loves basketball. I love basketball. We all play this game because we love basketball. Harry's going to get his basketball fix by playing my career. I'm going to get my basketball fix by, still playing this game and engaging in the limited content that they have. And then when that's done, I'm getting off the game because, like, I'm fine. We have real life basketball coming to our televisions in less than a week. I cannot wait for that, So we have that as well. And I'm hoping that 2K does give us more stuff to engage with. And I'm not saying that as someone who's codependent on MyTeam, because I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I'm saying that as someone that just wants to have fun playing the game again. And I don't even necessarily need it to be on the level of week 1 of season 1. I just want it to be close to that. It needs to be better than season 1 was after the first week.
If we gave it an 89 or 88, 90, asking for like an 80 is not asking for too much at all.
Asking for a B effort is crazy.
Yeah,
but that's
seriously.
where we're at in our relationship with this game. So, anyways, Harry, I really appreciate you, man. I think this is actually one of our better pods in terms of like, we didn't have a ton of rants. But I feel like this was like kind of like a grounding podcast where we kind of just got to have like a true conversation. I really enjoyed this podcast. So, Harry, once again, thank you very much. And thanks to all of you guys who tuned in and listened. Again, I apologized in the salary cap report episode yesterday for not getting this episode of the BrothSyndi MyTeam show out to you guys sooner. But again, life happens, and I'm just glad that Harry and I were able to record tonight. And we're really curious to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys have a grade for season 1, let us know. If you guys want to let us know what you're feeling when it comes to season 2, whether it's negative or even if it's positive, we're not going to bash you for having any positive thoughts. If anything, I'm looking for reasons for optimism for season 2. So if you have any, let me know. And again, we can revisit this conversation in a week, in 2 weeks. We'll see what the game looks like when the NBA season is live and we're getting games every single night, and we'll see what it looks like when there is a Halloween event or whatever we get as our next event. Curious to see what my team's going to look like, but again, that's going to be for the future. All we can go go off of is what we have here for season 2. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. Once again, this is the BrothSyndi MyTeam show. I am your host, Jan Moses. And as always, we love you all, and we'll see you next time.